That's a really beautiful sunset, right? But you're probably wondering to yourself, hey, Paul, where have you been? It's been almost 2 months. How'd you even get here? Well, hopefully in today's video, I am going to try and explain to you how I got to this point and all the work that's happened in these crazy busy past 2 months. Most of the work in Les Sables-d'Olonne comprised of a bunch of boat jobs. Given that the boat's only 6 or 7 months old, there's still a lot of refining and little things to do to just make it work a little better, redoing some systems, adding new systems in, just so that the boat is a little more cohesive and more hours and works the way we want it to. So here you can see me, I'm resplicing the anchor rod because the rigger who did it didn't do a great job and it was starting to come undone. And then here, similarly, we had some issues with the clew of our mainsail. So here with the black Dyneema, you can see that I'm rigging a sort of downhaul for the clew around the boom. And then later with the gray Dyneema, I am putting the outhaul, and that way that holds the clew really securely to the boom and doesn't put the strain on the small metal buckles like it was before this fix. Given it's impossible for us to sail without our mast, there are a lot of systems and a lot of things related to the mast that need checking over once in a while to make sure that they're still good, nothing's corroding, nothing's coming unscrewed, undone, nothing's damaged, there isn't any chafe on the halyard lines, on the sheets, anything at all like that. So here you can see I also took the chance to practice going up the mast alone. It's a fun thing for me, but it's definitely a physical challenge a little bit because I'm basically working with 2 loops of rope, one that's attached to my harness and one that I have on my feet, so I can pull myself up about a foot, slide the knot up the rope going up the mast, and I'm basically inching my way up the mast a foot at a time. So eventually, by the time I got to the top of the mast, I was definitely tired, but it was really good practice, a proof of concept, and allowed me to enjoy a really nice view. about. Welcome to the top of the mast. Decided to go for a little solo climb this evening. The beautiful, beautiful sunset here. Right at La Base in Lorient. Still getting some repairs done, but we're getting close to the end here and hoping to get out of here sometime this weekend to finally go to the Canaries. There's a big weather system coming through right about now, which is what's delaying us. But I'm really excited to eventually get out of here and back to some good sailing. Now with their lengthy stay in Les Sables-d'Olonne and Lorient in France, it finally meant we could go on our way down to the Canary Islands, something we had been dreaming of for months. Unfortunately though, that wasn't without a little bit of trouble. Here you see that one of the fixes done by the Outremer shipyard in Lorient didn't really pan out the way it should have. Unfortunately for now, it's time for damage control. I was just setting my watch when all of a sudden I saw the clue of the code 5 drooping down into the view of the window, which I thought was really strange because normally it doesn't droop that low because there's no pressure in the sail, because we're sailing in 18 knots of wind. So then I go out and I look, and the tack is just completely flying up in the air, completely loose, attached to this, just completely flying because it broke off at the bowsprit. So it was a mad scramble, but we managed to get it down, just stuff it into the sail locker. And now we're trying to figure out what the plan, because we're still 1,000 miles away from Madeira, and now we don't have a Gennaker, which was going to be our most used sail for this passage given the wind conditions. One of our repairs in Lorient was to replace the D-ring that attached the furler drum to the bowsprit with a soft shackle, because the D-ring was denting in our bowsprit, except the way they did it caused it to chafe through, as you can see here. Also, given that it was pretty thin Dyneema line, it chafed right through after less than a day worth of sailing with the Gennaker. This is a pretty surreal experience. Just had two of some of the largest container ships in the world just past me. We're cutting across the south end of the Finisterre TSS for separating cargo traffic going north and south around the northwest corner of Spain. And that means lots of really big ships going all around the world have to go right around that corner that we're going around, which means some pretty close, slightly uncomfortable encounters, just like this one that you can see behind me. Still though, it's pretty cool. Contrary to what you saw earlier, that is how the bowsprit's supposed to look. We ended up just reverting back to the original configuration. We had opted, instead of the shackle, to do a soft shackle because the way the pressure was angling the shackle into the bowsprit and denting it. But unfortunately the soft shackle just chafed through. So until we come up with a better solution, it's just going to be the old way, which works. But at least that means we have a sail that we can use again. It's 9 p.m. and I just started my watch. I really wanted to share this moment with you. It's finally the full moon again, which makes these night watches really, really pleasant because, if you can't tell, it's really easy to see everything. The other half of the month, where it's the new moon and it's complete pitch blackness, it just makes things a little harder because you can't see anything, you can't see the sails, and it's just a little harder to get by. So definitely appreciate this when I can get it. It's mid-October, and after over a month sitting at the dock getting boat repairs done as well as warranty work, we're finally making our way down south towards the Canary Islands. Right now we're just skirting around the edge of a high before eventually going west and then blasting down directly towards Tenerife.